So, good news. I'm back at Thorpe Park and I have been on Ghost Train again after my last review, which Thorpe Park loved. And there have been an improvement since I've been on it. But let's just say the audio is now shocking, especially for the pre-show. The cast are playing with a script that's just shoddy. But I actually can't fault the cast, because the cast are working with what they've been given. And I will say, when you're in the crypt, you can now hear both microphones. That is an improvement. However, when you're in the crypt, the curtain which hides the spirit ghoul is stuck open, so you see the ghoul. You walk in and you're like, oh look, there's a thing. The drive belt is still white, so again, first thing you see when you walk in is a white drive belt. You know, the story itself is, as I said before, the story's got legs, but it doesn't follow through to the end. There's not much to say. It's like, it starts off with all the potential. Oh, the Pepper's Ghost at the start needs re-looking at, because that's not working very well. It's like, the story has so much promise, and then it just like drops off of a cliff. I will say, I don't know about you, but the guy with the beard was really good. The bearded guy who was on at about 3:32 on Monday the 19th.
3:32.
That's what time is. He was really good. He can stay. I mean, the lady wasn't bad,
No.
but he had a great beard, so he wins. But yeah, overall, for what they've paid and the improvements is an understatement of what that needs.
Yeah.
You know, it could do with a complete lighting reprogram. I'm sick of the Curse of All Manor vibes with the UV.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want a good laugh, if I want a really good laugh, I'll go on that, because it's hilarious. But it's not meant to be. That's the problem.
I think mechanically, though, the actual moving parts of the train itself is well done.
Yeah.
That's where that flows lovely.
Yeah. I mean,
that's very well
you
done.
never went on the original, did you?
No,
So
no.
That was new for you.
That does give you that sense of, oh, I've actually changed stations. Oh, I have actually moved.
Yeah.
That's done very well. But yeah, and it's not. And this is not the star's fault. It's very B-level acting that I done on my GCSEs when I was like 14.
It's London Dungeons.
Yeah.
And that's not a dig on the dungeons. That's just how it is.
And the staff are trying, bless them, but it's not. The whole crypt, I don't understand that. There's one crypt, nothing else. Put some fake tombstones in there, make it look more like an underground crypt. You walk in and you've got like what they call it, the catacombs as you walk in.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Do that for the whole wall. Don't
Yeah.
hide your wraith down in the corner where you can see it. As soon as you walk in there, he's like, oh, there's a wraith in the corner. He's going to jump out on me, clearly.
Yeah. And he didn't. Or did he?
No, he did, some kids.
Oh, okay.
But like, put catacombs along that wall and even like hide him in a catacomb bit you can't see him and let him come out.
Well, they've got one. You know where the second actor was standing?
Yeah.
Behind that
Wraith.
statue
Yep.
of a wraith is a place for them to hide.
Right, so that's not being utilised.
No. But yeah, it's and the tackiness of the spirit costumes is just their face is just like, oh, what's that? The guy with he puts a paper plate on his face and draws some eyes.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
But talking to Chester the other day, there's a valid point of when you're at the end in the shop thing, don't know what they want to call that, finale, post show.
Yeah.
When they do the bleh, jumping out at you, why is it the person who stopped you from the spillage? Why isn't it another spirit?
Yeah. I was also getting very, very, very Mysterio vibes when he comes out, like his little pop-up.
Yeah, why doesn't he come out saying booyaka, booyaka, 619? But yeah, overall, like from my point of view, from last time on it, the one improvement is one thing, which is the microphone working for the second host in the crypt. But even that was really quiet.
Yeah.
Someone really needs to go in during a fully operational day and listen.
I think as well, if you didn't have two members of staff who are that enthusiastic of putting that display on, that will be a terrible show.
Oh yeah, if you get someone who's half-arsed in it.
Yeah, that script and that show relies heavily on having two very well enthusiastic members of staff.
Yeah, and that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing that on a loop for...
Yeah, if that's like their 10th one of the day, they're not going to
Yeah.
care. And that's not me being horrible. That's facts.
That's facts. That's reality. I can tell you that, because when you end up doing 3 shows a day in theatre, they're like, by the third one, they're like, I can't be arsed.
So mechanically, the trains looked amazing. The trains look good. Like it feels like a proper train.
Yeah, that's all good, and everyone seems to love to see it, say it, do it, cool it, blew it.
I think if you're going to, I'm going to class this as a horror ride, as it's meant to be.
As it's horrific.
Well, no, because I said Alton Towers got that stack of books and that they put the Ghost Train on there as a horror ride.
Oh, okay.
Having your audience laughing near the end probably isn't going to summarise it as a horror ride.
No, at the end, no, because all horror movies do have to have a sense of comedy. I get that, but the problem is they're laughing.
Yeah.
From about the first minute on the train.
I kind of almost want to do it again just to really laugh my way through it.
Yeah, and that's not a good way to come off of a ride like that.
I think as well, like I said to you earlier, like when we were watching the first pre-show, I could see the red and green lighting behind the visual because we weren't directly on it.
Yeah, the Pepper's Ghost effect.
Yeah, that was, and I get it. Unfortunately, that's because of the way we were standing, but I could see the whole effect.
Yeah.
I don't know. It relied heavily on the smoke machine for when the ghouls come out at the end. I don't think that was needed.
No, because they're really loud. I mean, smoke machines are inherently loud.
Yeah.
I can tell you that, right? But I don't think they added anything, is more the point.
No.
They didn't add anything because the ghouls were already there.
My first ride on it, I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed.
You know, and all I can see is because they closed it, 5 days?
Yeah, it's been about a week.
So 5 days, I was told it was closed for improvements, and the only improvement I could see or hear was the host in the crypt. If anything, things have got worse because you could see the ghoul when you walked in, as I said earlier, because the curtain's open.
Someone like me who doesn't even look for that sort of stuff could see it all. You can see the track, you can see the curtains.
Because it's directly, you're here, the host is here by his crypt, and you're looking that way, so you can see it. You can see the white drive belt, you can see the ghoul because the curtain's peeled open. You can see scaffolding behind it.
Yeah, as I say, I even noticed like behind, where you're looking at the crypt behind us, there's another rail above us, another white rail.
Yeah, that's probably a lighting bar. But
again, just cover it.
Yeah, or the light, the lighting bar when you go into the station, I guess.
Yeah.
You can see it. There's massive, great Source 4 Junior, not even Source 4 Juniors. There's Source 4s hanging off there.
I think
and all you need to do, little box.
What
done.
I would have liked as well in that crypt is on the Gruffalo ride when you go through that, it's got like the mist machine bit for the Gruffalo.
Yeah, when it works.
With a snake bit.
Yeah.
I would like that in the crypt as you walk in. So as you go into that bit,
it's
just like a nice, just silly pump it through the floor because the floor shakes.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
nice
they could, and I'm going to give you this one for free, Thorpe Park. Buy some glaciators. So they're low fog machines that are basically freezers. They run off 32 amp power, and they're DMXable. Get those.
Give it to you.
Yeah.
That DMX.
Not that DMX.
Ah, okay.
Digital multiplex.
Ah, there we go.
Get those, flood that room when everything goes down. Be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, there's a lot more work to do. And I think it's going to go the way of the curse, where they'll go, that'll do.
Yeah. The typical Merlin, 95% done, or in this case, 85% done. That'll do us. We've had a good sneeze.
Yeah. It means we've had a good innings, and we're done. But, I mean, here's the thing. Ghost Train isn't a ride.
No, it's fantastic.
It's a piece of theatre.
Yeah.
The ride aspect is minuscule.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the piece of theatre they've decided to go with is something that I wouldn't even put forward for GCSE, drama.
But
all the premise, none of the...
On a good note, it is wheelchair accessible. They have the lifts up into the trains, and then they have wheelchair sections on the trains. So the whole ride is actually wheelchair accessible. Like, that's a nice touch.
So if people in a wheelchair want a really good laugh, they can go on it. So yeah, that's my re-review. That's his first review.
Probably give it a miss for another year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you.
Goodbye.